I'm about to bounce. About to go to this. About to go see Black Panther in about an hour and a few minutes. But I wanted to kick off a quick video about this interview that MoNique gave with to the Breakfast Club on this past Friday. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but oh my God, it was very painful. And ladies and gentlemen, the concept of burning bridges is not a new one. But burning bridges is an action. It is a behavior that is performed by people who do not, listen to me, who do not understand the end game of life. The most masterful people of the human race are the individuals who learn how to look the people they hate or they can't stand in the face and smile and do business with them on a daily basis. I think all of us experience that in one way or another at our respective jobs. There's at least one person you just hate. You hate their guts for whatever reason. It could be a racial reason, could be a cultural reason, it could be because, they got halitosis, it could be because they have bad hygiene in other areas of their body. They might talk too much, or they don't talk enough. For whatever reason, you still find a way to do business with these people at your job because that's how you butter your bread. But there are individuals who do not understand the concept of the end game. And I said, and I mean, and those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, I said END, end game. The end game requires a cognitive understanding of what has transpired until you hit the end game. That's why they call it the end game. Most people don't understand that. What they do understand is this is how I feel right now, which is mainly subjective conjecture, and that's it. But they don't understand that there's going to be an end to this whole interaction that you or I or anyone else has with a collective of people or an individual. There's going to be an end to the game. And when I mean an end, I'm talking about a period. People who don't understand that are individuals who play checkers. People who play chess understand the whole game, not just the first 2 quarters of the game. They understand, I'm using the analogy of football. They understand the first, second, halftime, third quarter, and fourth quarter. That's how they think. End of story. And they understand the implications of their understanding of the end game. And they understand the game of checkers and chess. and they act accordingly. They behave according to the rules of the end game. While people who play checkers only understand how they always start everything with this statement: I feel. How I felt about this happening. Me, I. Now, you know, if most people don't know they play checkers, but the people who play chess know who they are. They know how to play it every day, all day. You, on the other hand, don't understand the end game. You think if you get out to an early lead, I'm using the analogy of football again. You think if you go out and blow your opponent out 31-0 in the first quarter and a half, you think you don't won the game. So what are people who play checkers? They sit back and they say, oh, we got this, man. We ain't got to do nothing. We ain't got to play defense. And then next thing you know, the people who play chess, their team, they get a touchdown. Then they get another touchdown. Then they get another touchdown. And what's the score by the time halftime come around? It's 31-21. The guys who are winning, yeah, they've been stung a little bit, but they're still in checkers mode. They're still thinking of playing checkers. So when they come out at the third quarter, their whole mentality is, oh man, we got this. All we really need to do is just hold on to this 10-point lead. Let's go in maybe one more touchdown, and then we'll just run the ball the rest of the game. We'll just keep the ball on the ground instead of throwing it in the air and possibly getting, costing our team an interception and turning the ball over. And then the team who is losing, who has 21 points, what do they do when they get to the third quarter? What do they do with it? What's their mentality when they come out of halftime? Their mentality is, we win this. We got all the momentum going our way. These guys they think they done beat us already. But it's not the fourth quarter, and looking at the scoreboard, there's no zeros up there. We're not out of time. The other team who's playing chess understands that. Then they come back out, and then they score 30 points. Okay? Instead of just scoring, a couple touchdowns and barely winning, they come out and blow these guys out and score, 4 more touchdowns. They score 28 points plus a field goal. They come out and score 31 points. To beat the team that scored the 31 points in the first quarter and a half, guess what happens to them? They lose. Because they didn't play the whole 4 quarters. They only played until they were winning. They only played a quarter and a half. Who's playing checkers and who's playing chess? See, this is why I tell, people who hate, let me use football again as an analogy. Or I'm going to use the issue of football. I'm going to put football out there. This is why a lot of people in the media and a lot of fans, NFL fans, hate Coach Belichick. They say, oh, well, he cheated in this Super Bowl. He did this. He did that. That may be. But the punishment was very light coming from the corporate office. So if they didn't do that, we just got to let it go. We just got to let it go. They said, oh, man, that Super Bowl where, Tom Brady and them played Seattle and they won and they had, Deflate Gate and all that kind of nonsense. And then they turn around and suspended Tom Brady for 4 games. He got punished for it. Leave it at that. They felt they needed to punish him. He appealed. They denied his appeal. Life went on, didn't it? And they came back that next year and beat Atlanta. Didn't they? They came back and beat Atlanta. Excuse me, no, they came back a year later and they beat Atlanta. Because I believe that year that Denver went to the Super Bowl and they played Carolina, the Denver ended up beating New England that year. But they hate Coach Belichick. Why? You've seen, I don't know how many games during the regular season and even in the postseason where New England would get blown out the first quarter of the game, and then they came back in the third, fourth quarter and blew that other team out. Or just flat out beat them. Just like they did Pittsburgh last season. Pittsburgh had that game in the palm of their hand. But what did they do? They gave the ball back to Tom Brady with a minute on the clock. Sometimes it don't even take that for Tom Brady to march all the way down the field 80 yards and score a touchdown. Whether people like Tom Brady or not, he's that good. And whether anybody likes or dislikes Coach Belichick, he's that good. Let's just give him his props. Let's just give Tom Brady his props. A better team this past year, the Philadelphia Eagles, beat New England Patriots. Why did they beat them? Because they played 4 quarters of good football on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And they knew they were going to have to do that. And what did they do? They went and created new plays that New England had never seen before. Because had they gone out there and used the same plays like Dallas did for, a season ago, and then they're going to come back this past 2017 season with having Dak Prescott, as good as he is, use the same plays. And everybody studied Dallas the year before, the season, the off season before the 2017 season. What did they do? They got hip to everything Dak Prescott does, and they end up shutting him down. And it didn't matter whether they had Ezekiel Elliott in there; they still didn't go to the playoffs. But some in the media say, "Oh, well, they only missed the playoffs by a game." No, they wouldn't have made the playoffs anyway. Because there were 3 or 4 other teams that were better than the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it 100. Philadelphia Eagles changed all their plays and came up with new ones. Because, first of all, they didn't have the same quarterback in there that they would have had if Carson Wentz was still in there. They played chess, 4 quarters of football, and they won a world championship because of it. It was clear. It was clear to me on both sides, and I recorded, I DVR'd this past Super Bowl. I'm going to sit down one day when I'm bored, and I'm going to look at it. They just outplayed New England. And some people say, well, they ain't put, Malcolm, whatever his name is, in there. The guy that was the MVP of the 2016 Super Bowl. They said, oh, because they didn't have him in there. It didn't have nothing to do with it. We'll never know what the real reason for Belichick to sit him down. And according to the media, it is alleged that Gisele Bündchen, the wife of Tom Brady, said because he kept Malcolm, I think his name is Hunter, I think his number is number 21. Because they kept him out of the game, because he was a star at that other Super Bowl, and he played very well in the Super Bowl against New England against Atlanta Falcons last year. They said that, you know, he's a difference maker. Would the game have been different? I don't think so. Would he have contributed because he plays his heart out? Yes. He's that talented. He's a talented brother. He can play. He can play. He can flat out play. But he's one man, and the head coach decided to put him on the bench. Malcolm Butler is not going to go out there and play offense and defense and play at all 11 positions. So being that we know that's not even physically possible, we can't sit up here and say that because they sat one guy on the bench, Malcolm Butler, that New England lost that game because of him. And going back to Gisele Bündchen, it's alleged, according to the media, that she said Belichick and them, that was a gift. That was a gift that Belichick was trying to lose that game. That's not true, because if you watch Tom Brady throughout that whole game, he was trying to win. And I find that insulting. If I was in Coach in Coach Belichick's camp, I would take offense to that statement if she actually said that we gave them a gift. Coach Belichick, to me, doesn't seem like the type of cat that would throw a game. He's the kind of guy that would just, not only is he going to win, he's going to beat you into submission, that's what he's supposed to do. I need to continue to read the 48 Laws of Power, but like I've said before in other videos, there's a lot of stuff that I do out of that book that I'm already doing before I even started reading it. And I've only read like maybe 1 or 2 pages. I'm already doing that stuff. Now, when I listened to that interview that MoNique did with the Breakfast Club, it was painful to listen. It was painful to watch and listen. Because MoNique was attacking Charlemagne, calling him Leonard, and you know, see, you have to understand with a lot of black women, and I'm not saying all of them, but with some black women, they always make if you're trying to have a dialogue that's based on objectivity and not emotions, because, you know, people who play checkers play with emotions. You always notice that when some of these black women are pushed into a corner, they start making personal attacks. I saw that on Facebook when I posted something about Black Panther. I said, look, I guarantee it's a great movie. I haven't seen it yet, but at the same time, it's not a movement where it warrants people going to the movie dressed as, you know, the royal family of Zamunda. And from what I heard, some people were bringing fried chicken into the movie. Come on, man. It doesn't warrant that. Black Panther is a movie, not a movement. And yes, it's almost made $500 million, and that's fine. That we got a black screenwriter and we got a black director. I think both of the screenwriters are black. But because Ryan Coogler is also he's also a co-screenwriter of the movie. But I know they did an excellent job based on commentary from folks who have seen the movie, which is why I plan to do so myself. But MoNique is playing checkers right now, going around, running her mouth, talking crazy about Netflix and all these other entities who didn't put respect on her name. I got an Academy Award. I'm a legend. What legend do you know goes around telling people they're a legend? I don't know of any. I have never heard Bill Cosby say, I'm a legend. I've never heard that from him. I've never heard Oprah Winfrey, who is definitely a legend of daytime talk shows, the queen of talk shows, and you won't hear Oprah say no crazy nonsense like that. So why is MoNique going around saying it? And she was making all these personal attacks on Charlemagne because of her Netflix beef about them paying her, underpaying her and offering her $500,000 to do a Netflix special. She started personally attacking him because he called her donkey of the day because of this po black folks position that she's taking going forward, talking about Netflix. This is, look, let me tell you something. The one thing that, see, I'm not going to talk about the whole interview. I'm just going to talk about snippets of it. But basically, what we witnessed with this MoNique interview with the Breakfast Club on this past Friday, that was the death knell of her career. She's going to almost exclusively be stuck doing small venues and comedy clubs that don't hold more than maybe a couple 100, 200, 300 people at the most. What she should have done was did like Chris Rock, talking about she ain't getting Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle money. She ain't getting $20 million. And how was Amy, Amy Schumer ain't funny, and they're giving Amy Schumer $20 million, I think 18 or 17 or 18 million. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Y'all can check it yourself. That's not how you do business. You don't go around counting other people's money. You don't go around counting other people's money. That's what people who play checkers do. This is like when you call out your baby mama on something and she starts talking crap, talking about, well, you don't pay enough child support. You could do more. When you calling her out about something she just said or did in the presence of your child that wasn't a good look. That's her comeback. You got to pay more child support. Or you behind on child support. Or, something like that. Or you got a small penis. That kind of talk, that's what people who play checkers, that's how they talk. That's not a professional. See, MoNique, I lost a lot of respect for her listening to this interview because I like MoNique. I think MoNique is a top shelf, top 5 comedian. But business-wise, she ain't acting like one. She shouldn't have never said nothing about that Netflix situation. She should have just left it alone. Her and her husband, who is also her manager. She should have just left it alone. And now she's burnt so many bridges. She done sat up here and burnt bridges with Lee Daniels. She done burned bridges with Netflix. She done burned bridges with other producers. And my frat brother, Will Packer, who has produced, who is one of the co-producers of Straight Outta Compton and other movies. I think Baggage claimed he was one of the co-producers of that movie. He's done a lot of work in Hollywood, and he's he's my fraternity brother. Y'all be telling, oh, well, that's Boulay. He be Boulay. I'm Boulay. I'm Boulay. She gonna sit up here. I guess he produced Almost Christmas last year, or the year before last, and which was a very good movie with her and Danny Glover. It was a very good ensemble movie. It was funny as hell. I liked it. But she should have just, she should just go back on the road, get her weight up, and then let Netflix come to her instead of her going to Netflix. See, people who play chess would never go around burning bridges in a industry that is built mainly on who you know. And you're gonna go and smack the hand that could possibly feed you? Nah, that's not a good look, MoNique. Not a good look. Not a good look. And I was hoping that her husband would be smart enough to tell her not to get on the Breakfast Club, who's, they're on Revolt TV, Diddy's, one of Diddy's cable channels, and they also have their radio show at Hot 97, I believe. I'm not totally sure. I believe they are on Hot 97. But they have a huge following. They are followed as far as the TV programming is concerned. They're followed by millions of people. And radio, they're followed by millions of people in the New York City area, as well as online. They probably have an online presence where people can listen in via the internet of the show, and they could be anywhere in the world and listen to it. So they probably have followings. They have a following all over the world. You don't go and mess up with them, because the Breakfast Club, they're very balanced. They're willing to invite people they don't like on the show and talk to them like they're a human being. They're willing to talk to folks like that. I don't know if they've invited people like Jared Taylor or Richard Spencer on there, but they probably have, and they would take care of them the same way they've taken care of all of their guests. They would have been very objective, and they would have asked objective questions. And instead of fielding those objective questions, MoNique decided to get petty and go below the belt and start personally attacking Charlemagne. That was not a good look. So in essence, what MoNique is doing, she is burning bridges. MoNique averages about $2 million to $2.5 million from the gate at all her comedy, and when she does comedy shows. She just did a sold out 3 or 4 night thing in Baltimore, where she's from. She's huge on the Northeast. She's huge. MoNique is huge everywhere. MoNique sells out comedy venues. But what Charlemagne was trying to say, and what Envy was trying to say, and what Angela Lee was trying to convey to her was like, look, Dave Chappelle started doing little venues like what you're doing right now, and he got his weight up. And the same thing with Chris Rock. They got their weight up. You get your weight up. Chris Rock can go and sell out arenas. He's selling out arenas. He ain't doing little, but he probably started off to get his material tight. He started in the small clubs, which he said, I read an interview that he said, hey man, I was bombing out because of my divorce. He said, I had to work out my material on stage. That's what comedians do. Whether they're on the level of MoNique or Chris Rock or any of these cats. That's the first thing they do, is work their material in the small venues. Because they don't want to get up in front of 10,000 people and make a fool of themselves. Which is something she, unfortunately, either doesn't understand or refuses to understand and acknowledge. And in essence, she is burning bridges permanently. See, like I said again, in a business where it's who you know, not what you know, I think all of us can agree that Amy Schumer ain't funny. But Amy Schumer is white. She sold out Madison Square Garden, which holds what, 15,000 people or more. MoNique can't sell out Madison Square Garden, and yes, she is a way better comedian. Everybody, even white people, will tell you Amy Schumer ain't funny. Hell, Whitney Cummings is funny. I usually don't even dig on too many white comedians, but Whitney Cummings is funny, especially her last tour. So I think the name of her last comedy special was Your Ex-Girlfriend or something like that. I Could Be Your Ex-Girlfriend or something like that. But it was funny as hell. Now the one she did before that wasn't that funny. But the last one she did was funny as hell. Bill Burr is funny. But he ain't as big as Amy Schumer. Plus Amy Schumer's got a cousin who's a senator. Senator Chuck Schumer. I'm quite sure she used some of that to parlay what she does in Hollywood. But look. I've said this on videos past, and I'm going to say this again. When you live in America is a business, not a country. And if you want to learn how to do business in America, you cannot be emotional. You got to deal with people you don't like. You're going to have to deal with people who live a lifestyle you might not like. But at the same time, can you leave with a check in your hand? Or at least a contract that says, I'm going to get paid this and it's on my terms. MoNique did not do that. What MoNique is doing is she's going on a pole mouth tour. Going around to all these black radio stations talking crazy. And you can't do that and win in Hollywood. You got white actors and actresses in Hollywood who have been blackballed because of something they said or did. And you don't hear nothing else about them. And MoNique is going to be right behind some of those folks, with her going around talking crazy about Netflix and everybody else. Who cares if they even give Netflix a counter offer. And then Netflix hung up the phone on their butts. That's what you do when you're talking to a fool that don't understand checkers, the difference between checkers and chess. No, she shouldn't have signed a contract and did that $500,000 special. What she should have done was give her a counter offer, listen to their counter offer, and say, "Oh well, that doesn't meet my requirements. But I appreciate you guys making that offer." And then you just part amicably. You walk away from the table saying, "Hey, thank you, but no thank you." Nobody's going to argue with that. I appreciate the offer, but ma'am, sir, that's what I do. That's not going to work. I don't get hoodish until somebody's being unreasonable on the other side. Then I get hoodish. But you just definitely not with somebody that buttered my bread. I'm going to hold my tongue with somebody like that. And I'm just going to walk away. I got family members who play checkers. And they're going to find out real soon I play chess. I don't play when it comes to me and mine. And I'm going to say this one more time to those of you who are listening. It's about winning at all costs. And that's something that you can't shame people into doing the right thing. You got these civil rights leaders, you got these ministers getting up on national television talking about what the white supremacists in this country ought to do. And that's not going to get the response that they're looking for. But what they should do is say, "Hey, I'm going to keep my mouth closed and we're going to do this." we're gonna boycott these companies on the low, or we're gonna do something else. But the best thing to do is not say anything and tell your enemies what you're doing. That's called being predictable. And that's one thing that when you read The Art of War or you read 48 Laws of Power, you don't let your enemies know what you're going to do next. You make them think that there's no telling what you might do. Just like Richard Spencer said, we, the alt-right, we're about winning at all costs. We don't care about what's morally wrong or what's morally right. See, you have to understand about a lot of black folks, especially black folks that follow religion. What MoNique attempted to do was, first of all, shame Netflix into giving her money. The number two thing she did wrong was she sat there and counted other comedians' money, which is something you don't never pocket watch nobody. You don't count other people's money because you're not them and they're not you, and you're not in the same situation that they're in. I'm not particularly fond of Tracy Morgan's comedy, but I applaud him doing what he does. I applaud what he does. And I want him to make all kinds of money. But I probably will never pay any money to see Tracy Morgan. I'm just not his audience. There's some comedians I don't like. It's not personal. It's just I don't like their comedy. But I'm not, if I'm a comedian, I'm not going to get on, YouTube or get on Facebook and badmouth these people. That's just something I would never do because I have more class than that. And what MoNique did was show how classless she is, as well as understanding business first. That's why in show business, the word business is a lot longer than the word show. And most people get that twisted. You do not burn bridges in Hollywood. I've only dealt with Hollywood on the music side, but I'm, considering doing stand-up comedy again. And I'll probably fly down to LA in the next month or so and hit a couple clubs and get up there for 5 minutes on open mic night, just to get my material together. But this time around, I'm a lot more prepared and I'm a lot more seasoned in what I need to do. So this time, I know I'm going to be successful, more successful than I was the first time. I didn't know what to do when I got up there. But I learned quickly that comedy is no joke. It is. It's no joke. Because it's just you and the mic, and that's it. And you better be funny. You don't have to kill it the first time you get up there, but you do need to be on an incline. Some nights you're going to come in there and some of the audience don't get what you're talking about. That happened to me. I was getting up there doing comedy that probably was more akin to doing in front of black people, and I got up there and did it in front of a bunch of white people, and they didn't get it. Some of the white guys got it, but most of the white women in there didn't get it. And that's when you have to learn your audience. You may have to change what you're going to say before you get up there once you see the audience. Because if they don't get it, they're not going to laugh. They're not being mean-spirited. They don't get it. They don't understand it. And what MoNique is doing, which is trying to shame somebody into doing what's morally right. Again, I'm going to reference Richard Spencer, and I'm going to say again that don't nobody care about your feelings. These people don't care about what's morally right. They're going to try to eliminate you from the face of the earth. Let me explain something about the Jared Taylors and the Richard Spencers and Donald Trumps and Jeff Sessions. What they're going to do, people, what they're trying to do is eliminate black people from existence. And they're going to weaponize everything in their clutches, in their power. They're going to weaponize education by giving you a poor education or no education. They're going to weaponize jobs. They're not going to give black men jobs, but they're going to give black women jobs. Because black women are going to go in the workplace and do what they say do. They're going to weaponize, what else are they going to weaponize? They're going to weaponize food. They're only going to sell certain types of nasty, stinking foods that give you type 2 diabetes and every other health problem out there. They're going to sell those in the black community. Have you ever shopped in a black neighborhood and then went to a suburban upper middle class neighborhood? They sell food in there in the black neighborhood. They don't sell nowhere else. And most of it is garbage. You go in stores in the black neighborhood, anything that is organic or anything that is something like vegetables, fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, it's sky high. It's sky high. One of the reasons it's sky high is because black folks are not buying it. That's the one issue. And it's the same thing in Latino neighborhoods as well. I'm not just picking on black people. Because you say the same thing in stores in their neighborhood. You see all these, Latino food products that are not healthy. That's one of the reasons I'll never live in another black neighborhood, because I can't eat that food. I can't eat processed food. I have to have fresh food. That's why I'm at the grocery store 2 or 3 times a week, because that stuff is gonna go bad if I don't eat it. So the point that I'm trying to make to you people is that while people like Richard Spencer and President Trump and Jared Taylor, the Jared Taylors of the world, male and female, are out here plotting to get rid of you, they're playing chess. You're playing chess. You're playing checkers. They're playing chess. You're playing checkers. When are you going to start playing chess? I've been playing chess for years, and that's why I'm winning. Very seldom do I take an L. MoNique just took an L. She should have just shut up and not said nothing, because now ain't nobody going to want to deal with her. MoNique is one of the most talented comedians and actresses out there in the business. But you can never get to that because she's putting all this other garbage out there. That's why I keep telling a lot of people say, well, black women, some of the black women in media are not helping their case by going around here bad mouthing black men. I agree, because a lot of these brothers there's a lot of black women out here taking L's in public. They're getting beat up by Asian store owners, Arab pizza shop owners. They're getting beat down by the police. Because I think about 4 or 5 years ago, Seattle police up here, 200 miles up here from where I'm from, or where I'm at, they beat some black women and somebody filmed it. But black women will not concede that they need black men. If you were with a man, that stuff would not happen. If black men were leading, that stuff would not happen. If MoNique's husband was leading, he would have stopped her and said, baby, it's not a good idea to go on these media outlets bad mouthing these other comedians and bad mouthing some of these other producers out here and these promoters. That's not a good look. But he wasn't man enough to do that. That's his fault. And his wife is going to suffer the consequences. MoNique is playing checkers. The industry always plays chess. Yeah, she can always go on the road and make $2 or $3, $4 million a year going on the road. But a lot of times these comedians don't want to do that. They would rather just, do 1 or 2 good, HBO specials or Showtime and make their money that way. Get, a quick $5 million and just do one. And then get residuals from that and the DVD sales. That's what real players do. You don't sit up here and play checkers and go out here and badmouth everybody in the industry that is based, again, on what? Who you know and not what you know. And, you know, I feel sorry for MoNique. I feel even more sorry about her husband, that he has to deal with a wife who doesn't understand how the entertainment industry works. But, again, that's how some of us black folks operate. We play checkers and not chess. What is the end game? Whenever you do anything in life, black men and black women, whatever you do in life, make sure you always ask the question, what is the end game? How am I going to end up at the end of the game? And am I going to win or am I going to lose? And you can foresee that by playing chess and understanding who your enemies are and how to play with them instead of against them and get your check. You tuned into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Make sure you get my new book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. You can get a paperback version, or you can get the tablet or Kindle version at Amazon.com. You can get an autographed paperback copy from me, the Iceman, at AskTheIceman.com. If you need any help with psychotherapy, if you need any help with starting a business, with business consulting, go to AskTheIceman.com for more information. And you can email me. There's 2 email addresses there that you can send me written correspondence, and I will get that directly on my smartphone. I just want to say one thing to all of the folks who are paid subscribers. I don't always get messages from, matter of fact, I haven't been getting any messages from PayPal. And so make sure you email me and let me know. I know there's a couple subscribers that sent me emails this past week. Please send me an email if you have any issues with PayPal, you have any issues with not getting your links to the videos. Just let me know. I'll take care of it from there. I thank you guys for listening to my show, the Iceman Show podcast. We've been on the air for 8 years. We've been on the air since October of 2010. I want to thank you guys for supporting me and encouraging me to keep this show going. Remember, if you do want to nominate a topic for the Iceman Show, you got to at least make a $30 donation to my nonprofit. And you can go to AskTheIceman.com and scroll down to the donate button, and they'll tell you what to do from there. Thank you. Holla at your boy.